What is up, Xaliter here. The Warrior Monk skill tree is a great pick for melee combat builds. The Warrior Monk trainer is located in Monsoon, on the platform to the right as you walk towards the Temple of Alot. Here, I'll go over all the perks of the Warrior Monk skill tree. Tier 1 skills are skills that are available to anyone. You just need to have the silver to pay for the skills, and you do not have to worry about using your limited breakthrough points, so there is no harm in just buying these skills to experiment with them. Focus is an active skill that burns 4 stamina when cast, and has a cooldown of 500 seconds. After casting Focus, it gives the player the Discipline boon, which increases physical damage by 15%. This is great for melee builds, as most weapons do at least some physical damage. Brace is an active skill that requires a melee weapon equipped. It does not cost anything to cast and has a cooldown of 200 seconds. After Brace is cast, it blocks an incoming melee attack. If Brace successfully blocks an incoming melee attack, it gives the player the Discipline boon, which increases physical damage by 15%, restores the player's stability, knocks back nearby enemies, and decreases the attacker's stability by 50%. Slow Metabolism is a passive skill that decreases drink and sleep depletion rate by 20% and decreases food depletion rate by 15%. This is great as you do not get hungry and thirsty as often, which makes you burn health and stamina faster. In addition, in a melee combat build, being tired with its negative stamina regeneration rate is usually not a great stats effect. Tier 2 consists of a single skill. To buy this skill, you must use a breakthrough point, meaning that you are locked into the skill tree as one of your 3 skill trees. It's a good idea to have at least a general idea of what build you are trying to go for before you use your breakthrough points, as you cannot get them back after you use them. Steadfast Ascetic is a passive skill that increases maximum stamina by 40. This skill is great for melee characters since attacking, dodging, and blocking all consume stamina. This skill lets you stay in combat longer without having to back off to recover stamina. Tier 3 skills are locked behind the Tier 2 skill, meaning that to unlock the Tier 3 skills in the skill tree, you have to use a breakthrough point to unlock the Tier 2 skill of the same skill tree. Again, it is generally a good idea to have an idea of what build you want to go for before you choose Tier 2 and Tier 3 skills. You may see this little bar that is connecting these skills right here. This means that you have to buy the bottom skill in order to buy the top skill. Some Tier 3 skills are sitting right next to each other. When you see this, it means that the two skills are mutually exclusive, and if you choose one, you cannot choose the other. Perfect Strike is an active skill that requires a melee weapon equipped and the Discipline boon. It costs 10 stamina and has a cooldown of 30 seconds. In terms of durability, it costs 3% of your weapon's durability per hit. After casting Perfect Strike, it performs a lunging attack, dealing 2.0 times the weapon's damage as raw damage, which ignores the protection and resistances of the enemy, adding 25 raw damage, breaking through the enemy's block, and inflicting pain, which decreases physical resistance by 25%. Master of Motion is a passive skill that requires the Discipline boon. While the Discipline boon is active, it increases the player's impact resistance and all damage resistances by 10%. This is my stats when I have the Discipline boon before I get Master of Motion, and this is my stats after I get Master of Motion. Flash Onslaught is an active skill that requires a melee weapon equipped and the Discipline boon. It costs 25 stamina and consumes the Discipline boon. It has a cooldown of 240 seconds. In terms of durability, it costs 2% of your weapon's durability per enemy hit. After casting Flash Onslaught, it takes the player into the Shadow Realm, making the player invisible and invincible as the player strikes all nearby enemies, dealing 1.65 times the weapon's damage and 2.0 times the weapon's impact, adding 57 physical damage to the attack and inflicting confusion, which decreases enemy impact resistance by 25%. Counterstrike is an active skill that requires a melee weapon equipped. It costs 12 stamina to cast and has a cooldown of 100 seconds. It costs 1 durability. After casting Counterstrike, it blocks an incoming melee attack. If an attack is successfully blocked, the player strikes back at the enemy, dealing 2.5 times the weapon's damage and 3.0 times the weapon's impact. In my opinion, the Warrior Monk skill tree is a great pick for melee combat characters. The Warrior Monk skill tree offers both offensive and defensive options for different melee builds, and provides the stamina needed to stay in melee combat. Because of this, I think the Warrior Monk skill tree is the best skill tree for melee combat. I hope you found this video informative. If you are thinking about making different builds in Outward, click on the info card for a build calculator that you might find helpful. Otherwise, I'll see you later.